It's time for the Landrum Football Coaches Show with Head Coach Mike Reid on Upstate Prep-Cast. This show presented by Teddy Laster Racing Stables. In addition to the Briar Patch of Campobello, Inman Fast Stop, Pool Time and Supplies of Bowling Springs, Peach Country of Campobello. And now from the Southside Smokehouse and Grille in Landrum, South Carolina, your hosts Steve Roper and Kevin Jackson with head coach of the Landrum Cardinals, Mike Reid.
Whoa! Good evening, Cardinal fans, and welcome to this week's edition of the Landrum Cardinal Football Coaches Show on Upstate Prep-Cast, presented by Teddy Laster Racing Stables. I'm Steve Roper, your host, alongside with my co-host and producer, Mr. Kevin Jackson, alongside with our guest camera operator, Mr. Justin Mathis is here this evening back there, and coming to you live from the Southside Smokehouse up here in Landrum. Well, it was a thrilling way to kick off the 2025 season last week over in Walhalla as we took it on the road, and the Cardinals came out with a hard-fought, scrappy 20-13 victory over the Razorbacks. Tonight, we're going to break it all down, introduce you to a couple of standout Cardinal players, and get you ready for this week's matchup against the Berea Bulldogs. But first, let's welcome the head coach of the Landrum High School Cardinals, Coach Mike Reid.
Thank you.
Coach, how does it feel to get that first win under your belt? But I got to ask you this: does week 0 count, or are we going after it this week?
Oh, it counts. It counts.
It counts.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. You had to probably celebrate it a lot last Friday night with your team and players after that, and they were really scrappy, really scrappy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from start to finish, we knew it was going to be a battle going in, and I talked last week about finishing, and that was one thing we did. We finished the game. So.
Would you say conditioning was beginning to take its toll with everybody cramping up? What would it be a different ball game, you think, if there'd have been an extra 5 minutes on that clock?
I mean, to me, they were the ones doing most of the cramping. So I mean, I feel like we'd have pulled away even more.
I'm thinking myself, everybody was falling out kind of left and right with the heat and humidity. And we kind of expect that again this week with the weather forecast. I haven't looked at it. It's going to be hot, humid, whatever. Mm-hmm. So anyway, you look at the game later on, first game. There's a lot of things you see that are good, a lot of things you see that are bad. Yeah,
I mean, we starting off with defensively. I mean, we played pretty well up front. Feel like we controlled the line of scrimmage. Had 5 turnovers. You have that many turnovers, you got a really good chance to win the ball game. Offensively, we had no turnovers, so that was a big difference of the game right there. We have things that we have to clean up on both sides of the ball, especially offensively. We got to clean up the false starts and things like that. But all those things are fixable. So, we're looking to take a big step forward this week at Berea.
Now we're going to talk to a few Cardinals here this evening, but just right offhand, Coach, throw us some names out there that really stood out to all of us last week.
Well, A.J. Lindsey, he had 3 tackles, 3 assists, a tackle for loss, a cause fumble recovery for a touchdown, an interception. That was almost a touchdown. It's called back. Braylon Revis had a big night. He had 5 receptions for 85 yards, a touchdown. J.P. Branyon had 8 tackles, had a receiving touchdown on offense. Korbin Mehaffey had a great night. He had, I think, 3 or 4 tackles. He graded out the highest as an offensive lineman this week. So he really stepped up as far as playing both sides of the ball because Friday night was really his first time playing defense. But as a whole, I thought we played pretty well. Walhalla was a scrappy team, so we knew we had to play well going in and win on the road.
Big win, and when they had narrowed the gap to 20-13, we had missed an extra point earlier in the game, made it up later with a 2-point conversion, but they had the opportunity there to tie that thing, get an onside kick, and maybe possibly get the win. Yeah. But, your guys rose to the occasion, and we didn't quite see on Upstate Prep-Cast from our advantage who blocked that extra point.
Vuthi Sam.
So Vuthi had a really good night. I do remember we called his name out several times on that defensive front, if I'm not mistaken there. So, anyway, Coach, congratulations again on your first win.
Thank you.
Yes, Kevin.
I will say, Coach Reid, just again, for most people who don't know at home, for a coaching staff, even one that are very familiar with each other, which you all are here, to basically get a job 3 months before the season starts and being able to come together as not only as a coaching staff, but to get all these guys to buy into you as the new head coach of the program and stuff, to go up against what has been in the last few years a very physical Walhalla team that last year really kind of pushed us around up front, and this year we gave it back to them and some, and to be able to do that all. And even though I know you've been practicing and preparing together for months, to really essentially have a total reset there in May and then come together in that short time frame is nothing more. And as an alumni and fan of this program, we just tip our hats to you.
Thank you. Well, when you have, a set of coaches that you got, I mean, we have a lot of experienced coaches-wise, and we have a lot of experienced players come back. So, they were mature about it. And, we had some ups and downs through the off season, but
let's not forget, you've been here 2 years. It wasn't like we just ushered in,
But, we had a lot of people doubting us this week. I'm going to be honest with you. People inside, our teams.
Maybe one announcer here that admitted. I really did think, Coach, I told Kevin on the way over, I said, Kevin, I don't know if we can win tonight. I don't think we can. And I admitted that on the air.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we have a good group of kids, and we're going to battle our tails off every week, and we're going to go out and compete every week.
Well, we like to challenge them from the press box, maybe with the comments that I sometimes make. But, Coach, congratulations again on that first win at the helm of the Cardinals. And, folks, later on in the show, we're going to preview this week's matchup against the Berea Bulldogs. But coming up next, we're going to talk with senior offensive lineman Corbin Mehaffey about his role in anchoring a front that featured a few veteran seniors and 3 younger players learning the ropes this season. So you're watching the Landrum Cardinals Football Coaches Show on Upstate Prep-Cast, presented by Teddy Laster Racing Stables. We'll be right back.
There's nothing better than award-winning jumbo wings while you watch great sports programming on huge flat screens at Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. If you love wings and a whole menu of great food and drink options, come to Wings Etc. for lunch, dinner, and snacking, and lots of HDTV sports. And now, when you can't eat and watch the game here, order online for pickup at togo.wingsetc.com. It's fast, easy, and convenient. Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. Good food, great times, and online ordering at togo.wingsetc.com.
Do you have a tree problem? Look no further than JB Trees LLC. At JB Trees LLC, we strive to provide a wonderful experience with professional service marked by excellence, all at reasonable prices. Schedule your free estimate today by calling 864-497-8511. That's 864-497-8511, or visit us online at jbtreesllc.com. JB Trees LLC, where your vision meets our expertise.
Are you concerned about the economy, interest rates, or current market conditions? For timely information based on sophisticated research, call Raymond James Financial Advisor Tom Dixon at 864-582-1611. He can discuss your specific needs and help to provide you with investment choices that make sense for you. Call Tom at 582-1611 in Spartanburg for an appointment. Raymond James Financial Service, member FINRA, SIPC. Life well planned.
The Flounder Seafood Restaurant, located at 160 Barbado Lane in Spartanburg, opens every Wednesday through Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Serving the upstate since 1969, they have been twice voted Spartanburg's best seafood restaurant. Everything at the Flounder is fresh and homemade, from their specialty stews to their famous hash and their signature flounder. Visit the website at flounderfishcamp.com. Come visit the Flounder, where there is a line, but it moves quickly. The Flounder at 160 Barbado Lane. Give them a call at 864-576-3165.
Welcome back to the Smokehouse and Grille here in Landrum, Kevin. I'm telling you what, we got a special guest this evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of the anchors of the Cardinal offensive line, the unsung heroes, of course. When things go good, you never get to hear about them, but when it goes bad, the linemen are the first ones to be blamed. He's a senior leader up front, working alongside another senior and helping guide 3 younger linemen in the trenches. His experience and leadership will be critical for the success of this offense this season. Please welcome our senior offensive lineman, Mr. Corbin Mehaffey. Corbin, thank you, and welcome here to the Upstate Prep-Cast Head Coaches Show with the Landrum Cardinals. And Coach Reid, what can you tell us about this fine specimen of a Cardinal you brought here this evening out?
Well, he's a hard worker. It's like this past week, we're practicing. He's practicing at center, guard, tackle. Then he's turning around playing defense. He plays defensive end, defensive tackle. I mean, We can put him anywhere we need him. He's a guy that's got a lot of versatile area. I mean, he can snap the ball and play guard and pull. I mean, he can do all three. So he's a guy that we can move if we have to. I think today at practice you were playing tackle.
Yep.
So I mean, if wherever we need to plug him in, he can do all three.
Korbin, being an old lineman myself of ancient history, 45 years ago, playing one position to the next, center like he says, moving around. How do you prepare yourself for doing such as that?
I just get ready to go wherever they need me. I'm gonna go in and do what I can.
Last Friday night, Coach, anything that he did that just stands out in your mind that gets him here at the big table this evening?
I mean, I think the very first play of the game, he had 2 pancakes. I think we ran power, and he kicks out the end, knocks him down, leads up on the linebacker, knocks him down. Then he has three tackles on defense, a tackle for loss. I mean, he just had an all-around. He was the highest grading offensive lineman this week. So, I mean, he just had a really good week.
Started the game off with pancakes, and Kevin and I had steak and eggs at the Waffle House on the way over. You know, have you already taken in the mentorship role model for your younger players that look up to you?
Yeah, I definitely have, but they've also taught me many things that I've learned.
What's the key to the chemistry that you think you're bringing and building?
Communication, really. If they're confused, I'm going to be there to point out what they need.
How much pride do you take in being in a part of the unit that just sets the tone? I mean, you know, an offense is only as good as those front linemen are. And as I said earlier, you're first to get blamed, you know that.
Right, yeah.
And last to get patted on the back and say, good job, you know. A.J. Lindsey had a terrific night rushing the ball last week for about 130 yards on 27 carries, I think it was, Coach. 140 total yards, total offense for him. But, you know, a lot of that goes because of the guys up front, Coach. I mean, you take them out of the equation, it might have been minus 140 yards. So, we, you know, at Upstate Prep-Cast, we fondly look at linemen each and every week. And I'll tell you what, we're glad what you bring to this program and the attitude that you bring in with the coach. Is there anything you'd like to add for the rest of speak on behalf of your teammates? We got a game coming up Friday night against the Berea Bulldogs, first one back in the Campobello Coliseum.
Well, I'm very confident in my team, and I know there's only 2 seniors on the line right now, but I know we have Zeke as a freshman, and we have Big Rob and then Bobby on the other side of the line. But I'm confident what they can do Friday night, and I know that what their job is, they're going to get it done.
You want to tell me who Big Rob is?
That's Robbie Medvar. That's our left guard.
Okay.
Korbin, last year, I don't know exactly what your playing time was in that game versus Walhalla last year, but we talked about it in kind of the intro. Last year, Walhalla kind of set that tone up front in the game and really made it hard for us to be able to move that ball. But like I said, I think on both sides really, especially defensively, but offensively most of the night, y'all had great protection, kind of set the tone and moved around. Was anything from last year in that performance, was it kind of a motivation for y'all coming into this game to get revenge on being pushed around a little bit last year?
Oh, it definitely was. We were ready to play this game. We were coming for that win.
And it was evident by the effort put on the field that we all got to watch.
I think Monday after our film meeting, I challenged those guys up front. You know, we knew, you know, that was going to be the difference of the ball game, you know, offense and defensive line. But, you know, we challenged them as far as offensively because we got pushed around last year. And so we challenged them, you know, to set the tone, you know, and I think they did.
You're an old man of the trenches yourself, aren't you?
I am.
That, you know, and Coach Grille may be up there leading them along, but you know what it's like on 4th and inches in the trenches, and that's what I like. The mentality that it takes to be a lineman, offensively or defensively. Folks, if you've never played the game of football, you have absolutely no idea. One of the toughest on the market right here for the Cardinals this year. Korbin, thank you for your time. And
thank you.
And thank you for giving the Cardinal fans and all of us an inside look tonight what it's like to be a Cardinal on the football field Friday night under the lights. When we return, we'll shift focus to the defense and a little bit beyond. Senior two-way standout Braylon Revis will join us and talk about playing on both sides of the football. And we'll also hear from linebacker Coach Brian Thompson about what makes this defense stand out or makes them a little bit tougher than what we've seen. You're watching the Landrum Cardinals Football Coaches Show on Upstate Prep-Cast, presented by Teddy Laster Racing Stables. Stick around.
Hey guys, this is Todd Waddell with Upstate Prep-Cast. When the storm hits, trust the guys who've got you covered. Guy Roofing. For over 50 years, they've been protecting homes and businesses across the Carolinas with a quality you can see and a name you can trust. From inspections to full replacements, their team is fast, reliable, and built on integrity. Visit GuyRoofing.com today. Guy Roofing. Protection you can count on.
Call 864-578-4594 for your consultation today.
Discover the power of Mahindra at Mahindra of the Upstate, located at 4951 Chesney Highway in Chesney. We're your one-stop destination for top quality tractors. Mahindra, the #1 best-selling tractor in the world, is now within your reach. Take advantage of our low-rate financing options, making your dream tractor more affordable than ever. Visit our website at sctractor.com or call 864-461-2515. Mahindra of the Upstate, the official tractor of Tough.
Jeff Parks and his team of experienced real estate professionals at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services C. Dan Joyner are lifelong football fans, and they know for a successful football team on any level, you must have great coaching and a good game plan. The same goes when purchasing or selling a home. Let the Spartanburg office at 170 Camelot Drive be your coach with the right game plan and strategy to make your real estate purchase go like a championship winning season. Contact Jeff Parks at 864-415-0336. Berkshire Hathaway C. Dan Joyner of Spartanburg. cdanjoyner.com.
This is Pastor Tyler from View Church. We're located in Bowling Springs at 5555 Paris Bridge Road. If you've been turned off by religion, been discouraged or hurt by church, or maybe you just thought church was boring, you should give View Church a try. It's a place like none other. The people are genuine, the spirit is obvious, and God is moving in this place. Visit our website for times and direction at viewchurch.org.
All right, we're back here on the Landrum Football Coaches Show at the Southside Smokehouse and Grille here in Landrum, South Carolina. This show presented by Teddy Laster Racing Stables. And, Steve, you've got a special guest with us, a couple special guests. Why don't you introduce them?
Yes, I do. Next to me right here is one of the true difference makers for the Cardinals. He's a senior, contributes on both sides of the ball, locking down receivers as a cornerback and making big plays as a wide receiver on offense. Being a two-way player takes tremendous stamina, Kevin, conditioning, and leadership. Please welcome Mr. Braylon Revis. Braylon, we're also joined by Coach Thompson this evening. Is your position coach also, or no? He's a linebacker. He's going to talk to the linebackers about us in just a minute. So, Braylon, let me ask you this: you had a big game last week against Walhalla, and we couldn't be more proud of you. But playing both ways on the ball, corner and at the wide receiver, it's a huge responsibility. How do you prepare yourself mentally and physically to handle that workload?
Well, mentally, I would say just watching a lot of film, making sure I'm prepared, know what's coming both ways, and physically, it's just making sure I'm putting the right stuff in my body, getting as many reps as I can at practice, just doing the extra stuff to make sure I'm conditioned.
Well, you were in great condition last week, and it showed. How did you think the conditioning played against Walhalla last week? Because they were falling out like flies, and it was hot.
Yeah.
And everybody was cramping. You stayed in peak physical condition, hydrated, I suppose.
Yes, sir. A lot of electrolytes and water, and just that's all it takes, I guess.
In the secondary, what do you think was the key to slowing down Walhalla last week? They came in with, we were scared of that passing game, Coach, and they had a quarterback with some good wheels on him.
Yeah.
So, y'all kind of shut him down, and we had several sacks, as Coach mentioned earlier. So the defense really played outstanding, and of course yourself did. That's why you're here this evening. So what do you think the key was last week as you came in, and when it got real tight? Mm-hmm. That game we could have lost that very easily in the end.
Yes,
you guys stuck it out and dug deep. What was going on in that huddle?
Just a lot of focusing on what we had prepared to do. Couple key players that we wanted to stop, and we just focused on sticking to the game plan, and that's all it took.
37-yard touchdown reception, was it 37 yards?
I think it was 55.
Oh,
actually.
Okay. See there? You like to fish too, don't you? I tell you what, though, that was a well-designed play. And, we had a few passes dropped the other night that, I told Kevin, I said, in 3 weeks we will be making these catches, Coach, and such as that. But good move, little post route, I believe it was, or a little kind of slant. You put the move on the guy and took off. That was just outstanding. Came at a time when the Cardinals really needed it most. Coach, is anything you can tell us about this defensive performance of this young man right here and a few more?
Well, you were talking about his conditioning a little bit. I think at one point you were trying to tap Coach Reid maybe to get you a little blow or at some point, and he was like, negative, brother, you got to go out there and play. So he did a great job. We put him on their best guy all night. We figured we're going to put our best guy on their best guy, and he did a great job of doing that. And, real proud of the effort of – these guys going both ways in this day and age with this type of offenses that we see where you're all over the field. It's a little bit different back in the old days when you and I were going both ways. I mean, they're running all over the place. So for him to perform at the level he did all game, playing both sides of the ball was impressive.
Sometimes I can't help but overhear what goes on in the press boxes sometimes. Last week we were in tight quarters with the coaches who were, watching the field and calling the plays and stuff, but I turned around, and a few minutes later, you guys had packed up and left, and I told Kevin, did we run them off?
No. I'm an old head, and I'm used to being on the field. I'm going to do whatever Coach Reid asked me to do. We were having a little trouble with our headset situation, so that was a little frustrating. And I noticed a couple of things from the box that I didn't particularly care for from my position group, and so I wanted to get down there and have a word and talk to them a little bit and coach them up on the sideline.
Face-to-face. Face-to-face is a little bit better coaching sometimes.
Eyes, sometimes it works. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it certainly worked because there was a change of attitude on that sideline and on the field after the coaches had 86 out of the press box, Kevin. So
that's right.
Kevin said, Steve, you've managed to run them off. Look at you.
It's nothing personal.
Okay. I wanted to get that straight. That was the biggest thing on my mind this week. So how you see them developing as the course goes on, Coach? I mean, we're small in numbers.
Yeah.
We've got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
So, but the development, what are you seeing overall from your linebackers? You had some outstanding linebacker play last week, and one of them, the team leading tackler, was a freshman, Kevin. A freshman, but he's no little freshman.
No, he's not a little. He looks like he's playing 37U semi-pro ball is what he looks like out there. Yeah. So
here's JP Branyan.
Yes, JP.
Name.
Here's the impressive thing about JP on Friday. He didn't know he was going to play linebacker until pregame, and we were down a guy and we had to move some guys around, and he stepped up and did a fantastic job. Throwing into the fire, first varsity game against a team like that, big and physical. His eyes, I thought he did well with his eyes and reading his keys, and his effort was tremendous.
And he played both sides of the ball at tight end and got a little touchdown on his first reception. Yep. So you can't beat that. Lead the team in tackles as a freshman and get your first varsity touchdown on a Friday night too. And so, I mean, could it be sweeter, Coach, for a young man?
Hey, he set the bar high. I tell you that. So you come out of the jump doing that, and the expectations are high.
Coach Thompson, I know we had him here last week, and it's sometimes you want to distribute around the attention and stuff. But
he's right over there.
You got to give credit where credit's due. What is it like coaching a player like A.J. Lindsey, who again we saw just kind of took over that game, especially defensively? Of course, he had a great effort offensively, but defensively, forcing fumbles, recovering fumbles, interceptions, look like one hand almost. What is it like to coach a player like that on defense?
Well, Monday through Thursday, sometimes it makes you want to tear your hair out. But when the lights come on Friday, that cat gets after it. And he's just an old school throwback. I mean, he has great instincts of finding the football. We've adjusted the defense to play to his strengths a little bit. So a lot of times what people try to do is make the ball bounce outside and run east and west so we can run it down. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to funnel it into A.J. And so hopefully invite the ball to hit more vertical so A.J. can make some plays. But crunch time, he came up. Had a strip fumble for 6, had a big-time pick. I think it was the very next offensive play coming out.
It was.
So, he gets in spots. When the game now he was hunched over. He was hurting. Now I watched on film, and he's kind of hands on knees, kind of bent over, and then the ball. He came out, tried to get him a blow, but after that, man, when the ball snaps, he's gone. So, very fortunate. Guys like him make guys like me look better.
I wish we had 11 of them. I would take 4. If we only had 4 more AJs on the field or on the sidelines,
yeah,
I'll
take 10 and Revis here. How about that?
That's right.
We're pretty solid.
Braylon Revis is a name we've been calling out for quite some time. We've never been more proud of him than we were last Friday night. But I tell you what, there's going to be some more big, proud Friday nights coming up. And we hope that it's this Friday night at the Campobello Coliseum, Coach. And Braylon, thank you very much for joining us and giving the Cardinal fans an inside look at the Cardinal defense and the demands of what it's like to be a two-way player, son. We're really proud of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming out, and everybody else here with your family and friends that came out tonight in support of you. When we come back, we're going to take a look ahead at this week's matchup against the Berea Bulldogs. Coach Reid will join us, and we're going to break it down to see what to expect Friday night. You're watching the Landrum Football Coaches Show on Upstate Prep-Cast, presented by Teddy Laster Racing Stables. Stick around.
So I switched my insurance to State Farm, and get this. I talked to an actual State Farm agent who lives in my actual town. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town gave me actual help with the coverage I needed. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town who gave me actual help actually knows my name. And get this. They actually say it's called service.
Call Agent Chad Wagner, Asheville Highway, Spartanburg, 585-7999.
All right, guys, 30-second commercial for GSP Security. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
No, it's your turn to go. I did the last one.
No, this one's yours.
Man, I've already got a security system from GSP Securities. You're the one that needs to talk about this.
Well, you can talk about it because I don't know anything about it, so you tell me.
I've got cameras, I've got motion detectors, I've got everything that I need to be safe at my house.
Oh, come on.
All right, forget it. Y'all both forget it. Just go to www.callgsp.com today to request a free quote.
Warrior Tree Service, your go-to tree experts. Family owned and operated since 2020, offering service from tree removal to tree trimming and stump grinding. At Warrior Tree Service, we handle it all. When nature strikes, count on us to clean up the mess and restore your property back to normal. Visit our website at warriortreeservicesc.com. To get a free estimate, call 864-278-2555. Warrior Tree Service, where nature thrives, we revive.
This is Steve Roper,
Kevin Jackson,
at Upstate Prep-Cast, and I tell you what, folks, you don't have to feel a financial strain from a clogged drain. Just call the MVP of plumbers. That's Mike Verner's Plumbing, proudly celebrating their 40th year of service to the Carolinas. Mike Verner's Plumbing has you covered in all situations, whether it's commercial or residential. So if your toilet's on the fritz and you really need to take a
Hold everything. Folks, call the MVP of plumbers today at 864-472-8756. Mike Verner's Plumbing of Inman.
When you need trusted legal guidance, experience matters. For decades, the Stevens Law Group has been serving people right here in South Carolina. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. They handle all areas of family law with skill and compassion, helping clients navigate life's most important decision. Call 864-598-9172 or visit scfamilylaw.com today. The Stevens Law Group, local experience with a focus on family.
Hi, this is Ron Hawkins with Next Home Experience Realty. For over 30 years, I've been helping people buy and sell homes. Whether you're looking for new construction, buying your very first home, searching for that perfect investment property, or selling a home you've loved for years, call or text me at 864-415-5792 or visit my online site at spartanburghomes.net. I am Ron Hawkins, your trusted realtor in the Upstate, turning for sale into sold for over 30 years.
Welcome back to the Southside Smokehouse here in Landrum, South Carolina. Landrum High School Coaches Football Show here with Head Coach Mike Reid, getting into the meat of the action here. The Cardinals, after the big win over in Berea last week, will be returning home to the Campobello Coliseum this Friday night to face the Berea Bulldogs.
That's right.
So, Coach?
4A, I believe, Berea Bulldogs.
Yeah, they are.
And I think we've handled them the last two seasons, Kevin.
Three. We've beaten them 3 in a row.
All right, Coach. Tell us about these Berea Bulldogs and what's the game plan, but don't let any secrets out in case Berea's watching.
They're a 4A team. They've switched offenses. They were kind of a spread, empty team last year. This year they've done a wholesale change of being a wing T team. So with any wing team you play, doesn't matter if they're good at it or bad at it, you have to be disciplined. Our guys can't get their eyes in the backfield and look at all the motions and all that kind of things. They have to be disciplined, and they have to read their keys every single play, because if they don't, the one play they don't read their key, it could be a touchdown. So, we've just been harping this week, be disciplined. Read your keys every single play. Don't take a play off, all that kind of stuff every week. But especially this week is very important, because if you get your eyes in the backfield and you're looking at the motion, they could be motioning this way, but the ball is going this way.
That's the thing about the wing tee, all the misdirections, pulling and the trapping and stuff. And like you said, linebackers have to be very disciplined. Linemen have to play their gap and contain their gap.
Assignment-based football.
Right, in our secondary, they can't fall asleep. I mean, they're going to get run left, right, whatever. Up the middle.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
And then, when they see you creeping up a little bit, they're going to try to throw it over the top. And if you got your eyes in the backfield, they're going to run right by you and you don't even know it. So it could be an easy touchdown. So like I said, you just have to be disciplined. You have to make sure you're reading your keys every single play.
What stands out as far as some of their athletes?
They have a really good wing. It's number 47. He, I think he's a young kid, but he's got some good speed. Looks like he has some good vision. Kind of sets up his block when they run rocket toss. He's setting up leverage as far as where he wants to run it, and he does a pretty good job of that. Defensively, they're pretty quick. They seem to get after the ball every play, so it looks like they fly around a good bit.
What formation? 4-4, 3-4?
They're more of a 3-3 stack.
3-3 stack.
Yep.
So another week of trying to pound the ball for us, I guess, with AJ's. No secrets there.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to feed him as much as he can go. But we got to. At the same time, we got to be careful. We got to make sure we're not overusing him. Our up front guys, on the offensive line, they did a good job opening up holes again. Defensive line, guys like Eli Shirley, who's here tonight, he did a great job as far as stopping the run Friday night. We just got to control the line of scrimmage again. You can control the line of scrimmage in football, there's a good chance you're going to win the game.
Yes, sir.
So.
We noticed Eli's efforts last week, the big 5-0, and called him out several times during the ball game. Coach, when you're facing an opponent, a 4A opponent especially, and how do you tell the kids, sometimes they might just say, oh, no, 4A, I'm scared to death. I mean, your guys fear nothing, I don't think.
No, they come to compete, and, I think just because they're a 4A team doesn't mean, you just come out and play football.
You can only put 11 on the field at one time, right?
Yeah, you play your style of football, and you force them to change to you instead of us changing to them. So,
back to last week a little bit, the quarterback position for us. I'd tell you what a game Ty Foster had. Several times I don't necessarily want to say the coverage broke down, because most of your passes are designed rollouts with giving him the option to run or throw and such as that. But there were a couple of 3rd and long situations that his legs pulled us out of a great situation, put us into a better situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what we kind of all summer talked about with him, because he would get a little frustrated sometimes at 7-on-7s if the other team had good coverage. I said, well, Ty, you got to think about it, man. If there's 4 or 5 guys with their backs to you and you're running out of the pocket, they're not going to see you take off. So that's another element of your game that's going to help you, and he showed that Friday night. I mean, he's got great legs on him, and he can run. And we told him, anytime you sprint out and nobody's open, take off with it.
Let's go back to late in the 4th quarter of last week's game. We're trying to just milk that clock for all it was worth and get every second that we could get off of it. And we ended up in a 4th down and 1, about their 37-yard line, and it was decision time for you. Now, nobody really expected you to really try to punt and pin them deep. I mean, it could have been done, but what was the decision process in your mind at this time? You had 2 timeouts. They had 2. They still had 2.
They still had 2.
They still had 2 timeouts.
Well, I think we called a timeout. I pulled the guys over there. I pulled the offensive line over there, and I said, I told them, I said, I got faith in you guys. We can need 1 yard, get us 1.5, and we can go on and win this game. And I challenged them. I said, we need 1.5 yards.
That really had to be the moment you find, like, oh, they're looking at me here. I got to make this call.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew in the back of my head once we got across the 50, if we got in the 4th down situation, we was gonna go for it. I already made my mind up.
And that's part of the game that really doesn't get factored on, that game and time management and all there. That's really underappreciated.
Really, from about the 5-minute mark on, there was a lot of things that you had to make the decision on and things like that. But like I said, I had already made my mind up that it got down to about 2.5 minutes, and I was like, we're going to go for this. I'm an old offensive line guy, so I'm I have faith in our guys up front. So
not only faith in the guys up front, but you had faith in the worn-out mule
yeah.
that we gave the ball to, and that was AJ. And, I mean, AJ was just beat up, banged up, battered up, but just kept on going like an Energizer bunny.
Yeah, he did.
So,
he had a good night.
Well, I think everybody really had a good night. Of course, now you can look at the film and you can see some laziness from time to time, but that is to be expected,
That's
Coach. So Friday night here at the Campobello Coliseum, I hope to have a full house and everybody show up. Coach, any final words you'd like to address about your team and this week's opponent?
I hope we come out and hopefully we improve from game one. A lot of people say you improve more from game one to game two, and I'm hoping that's the case for us. We've had a good couple days of practice, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody there Friday night for youth night also, so we should have a pretty big crowd. Speaking
of youth, before we go, I have preached for many years in this community, I would say. I don't know if you right, Kevin?
Yeah.
About the involvement of the youth getting into football and such as this, but we don't have a lot of numbers by the time they get to high school. So I'm challenging all the kids out there to stick with it.
That's right.
So, oh my goodness, here comes my favorite part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I forgot my wallet. Is that okay?
Yeah, Coach Reid's got it for you.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much. All right,
hand this thing in here, cameraman. Earn your keep.
That's one of their signature plates here at the Southside Smokehouse Grill, shrimp and grits, baby.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
Sir.
Woo-wee, that right there would make Forrest Gump say, Well, Coach, we want to thank Coach Reid, Korbin, Mehaffey, Braylon, Revis, and Coach Brian Thompson, and all of them for joining us tonight. And, of course, thanks to all of you Cardinal fans at home. Kevin?
Yeah, and before we close, we always want to give a special thanks and shout out to some of our local broadcast fans. Of course, all the sponsors you hear all year long are our network broadcast sponsors for Upstate Prep-Cast, but we give added a special tier this year to help out with the production costs and to make our broadcast even greater. It's where we take a lot of pride in our quality of our broadcast, our camera quality and all that, but we wanted to add a little bit of a sponsor here to allow you, the fans, to kind of help us out with it here. And our primary sponsor of the Landrum Football Coaches Show in our local sponsorship level is Teddy Laster Racing Stables, and we want to give him an extra special shout out because he has stepped up with another generous donation that will allow us to address our lack of cellular signal at times that hinders the quality of our broadcast. He stepped up in a way that's going to allow us, we believe, in the future, starting next week, to here at home we have the school's infrastructure to use, but when we're on the road next week at Ware Shoals, we think we're going to have a really good, stable connection that allows you to have a high-quality broadcast throughout the entire season. And special thanks to him for Teddy Laster Racing Stables for his second generous donation of the season. Also, we're sponsored in part by the Briar Patch Quick Stop of Campobello, Inman Fast Stop, Pool Time and Supplies of Bowling Springs, and Peach Country of Campobello. And if you'd like to also show your appreciation and help on the local sponsorship level to help our production get even better, you can partner with us by going to Landrum Cardinals Football on Upstate Prep-Cast on Facebook and giving us a message, or going to www.upstateprepcast.net/Landrum to learn more. Steve?
That'll do it this week, ladies and gentlemen, from the Smokehouse here, the Southside Smokehouse, to be precise, as Kevin Ford is kicking me under the table here.
You have to be very precise in which smokehouse it is.
That's right. And don't forget, Friday night, kickoff 7:30 at the Campobello Coliseum. We're doing big things here this year, ladies and gentlemen. Kickoff 7:30, as I said. We'll go on air about 6:45 with the pregame and a few other things. For Head Coach Mike Reid of the Landrum Cardinals, Kevin Jackson, I'm Steve Roper. See you at the game Friday night, Coach.
Go Cards.